Oh, well, I guess it don't matter for the ugly hat. I'd be wearing it. um, wow, it looks like Trump Jr. might have to um get immunity from his father. Pasta salad. It's the only pasta I had, and I'm gonna do these shrimps. But I think it's very interesting that Trump Jr. he had a meeting with Russians, and they've been in business with Russians because Trump Jr. because they and then that policeman that had to resign, that was one of the security guys, and those are one of those people that was blackmailing and part of the conning, like they know what's going on. So he's probably real guilty. He probably seen what's going on with Trump. Knows that Trump has plenty of uh, 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 associates that are Russian. So he was probably blackmailing him too. Trump was probably getting blackmailed, embezzled by a lot of people. I'm just pulling off, like, this is a medium-sized shrimp. I'm just pulling off that. Supposed to already been cleaned and everything. I'm making shrimps. Come on. Oh yeah, medium. Peel, divide, with tail okay. So it's supposed to have been already the other stuff done. Yeah. I didn't use the whole bag this time. When you're using medium, you might use more of them, but I only used half. Probably this is probably a little less than half of that bag. Oh, not much. There we go. Doink. Doink. Like doink. But Trump Jr. and Trump Sr. already put out misinformation. So I think they already have Trump Jr. on perjury. What they're probably trying to do now is to stop something like that from ever happening again. Find out who the actual hackers were. And I think they could tell by who those 8 people were in the room. Like that female. That's all I'm saying. Mayonnaise. So you got the pasta. Oh no, mayonnaise. And two of these. I guess 2. But and just by Trump's university and the way the university was conning people out of money, they're I think they have a really good case. Let's stir this up. And Trump Jr.'s story has changed so much. I don't know what he said in the 5-hour interview. I know that in what they released about his 15-minute statement, I would just basically say he's a liar. And he's probably, used to ripping people off and lying to that person that they rip off to their face and thinking, haha, you don't have anything. Like his dad had a retired policeman, and this policeman has probably seen a lot of interactions because he's supposed to have been a trusted. So he probably couldn't pass security, Secret Service. Secret Service probably didn't want him around. It's like Trump didn't have good guys around him. They're not good people. Russia doesn't really have the best interest of America. And China now North looks like a superpower because China has all this money. Oh, no idea what my. Oh, well. Don't worry about it. I have to go wash my knife. No idea with that. Basically, that's all I'm going to do with this. Just put some mayonnaise in there. And let it chill for a while. Well, we'll see. Because I think the objective is for us never to have the Russian interfere with our election again. And, well, we already know how Trump talks and type of speeches he makes. He's not a good speech maker. He's not a good talker. He's really not that articulate. His language seems very limited, and he seems very fickle. And I don't trust Trump Senior, and I don't trust Trump Junior. I think they both too much of con artists that they made their money thinking they were, like mafia, Trump, Donald Trump, he thinks he's the Don and shit. And, getting played, by the Russians that way. That's what I think. Well, that was too simple. I might add some seasoning to it after I wash my knife. A little onions and some jalapeno. I'm gonna add that red one since it's overripe. Anyway, I just have to get to my dishes. I don't feel like doing it now. But I when I do pasta like that, I'm doing a cold pasta. The shrimp's already been cooked. I steamed the shrimp, and I boiled the pasta, and that was just like my food stamps don't do. So that was just pasta that you know. But I utilize my pastas in more than one way. Does it, you know? So let me get off the internet. I just want to say this. It's just that I don't think that Trump, Pence, or anybody that Trump brought in office, even the Supreme Court guy, should be where they're at. I think that um, they have done a lot of harm in the past. History speaks for itself, and I think that that is the way they only know how to do business. Um, it's very I think they have more than just Trump getting having a prostitute pee, on the bed that Obama and Michelle supposed to be. But I think they also have pictures of him, in orgies and doing oral sex with a male and all type of compromising positions when you're into that type of group sex. And I think that from the way his father was, the type of landlord his father was, the way his father got arrested with the Ku Klux Klan, the way he was been taken to court for not keeping up the maintenance on the building, taken to court for not allowing people with a lot of melon into his place, and in Trump's history and his actions speak very loudly. And I think that you could see that Trump has gotten a habit of causing great harm and damage as he goes along, especially to people, like right now, I have a feeling that he's paranoid, he's worried, and all this shit. But he's gonna strike out at the common citizens. He's gonna strike out at the gays. He's gonna strike out at the Muslims. He's gonna strike out at the blacks. And he's gonna let this racist guy not even have to do any time. They're gonna say, "Oh, he's 80 years old. You know, he was a sheriff." Yeah, but the whole time he was a sheriff, he wasn't upholding the Constitution or the civil rights of the citizens that was actually being taxed so he could have a paycheck. So he wasn't representing the majority of the people. He was just causing a lot of damage and harm and deterioration, so the community couldn't focus on the what they needed to do to grow, and that's to fix the food supply, fix the school supply, and bring industry, some type of industry back here, even if it's just technology, the new wave, or some type of maybe it's reusable energy, but we need to start focusing on the future and not walloping in the past because most white nationalists, uh, like that guy from South Caroline Bill, that whatever that fucking sheriff was, he's a disgrace. He doesn't have any humanity. He doesn't have any scruples. He doesn't have any understanding of his own self as a mammal, as an individual, as a human being. You know, and I really think people like that have mother issues. I think his mother probably beat the fuck out of him, and I think he's really bitter. And the only thing he could, what I'm saying, he's the type of motherfucker that, what I'm saying, he ain't gonna whoop nobody's ass that's over 2 feet. And I think that Trump is trifling. I think that he's not fit to be in the position. I don't think that he's the type of person that will do the reading, uh, uh, do the briefings, or even if they do that, I think that he's incorrigible when it comes to new information that's different from hurting and causing other people pain and anguish, so you can have money. I think this is the same thing with that man and Flint guy. You know what I'm saying? I think they just did a treasonous traitor act, and I think that I don't care if he does like if all of them like they get convicted and don't have to do jail time. I don't care as long as that we find out what really happened with our election and that we never have that happen again. And I think it was a damn shame because I really liked Barry Sanders. So I think Barry Sanders and I think even Hillary Clinton got ripped off. And I know the United States got damaged and the citizens have been totally traumatized, and it's just like a terrorist act. And I think that if we have to bomb any motherfucker, we need to bomb the motherfuckers that hacked our fucking election. You know what I'm saying? If North Korea and all this want to get in the middle of it, North Korea can mind its motherfucking business. There's another day. You know what I'm saying? The bombs could just rest for, 72 hours. You know what I'm saying? Because they won't have nothing to do with Russia. Yeah, Trump loved Putin and all that. Putin ain't nothing but a KBG. You know what I'm saying? You don't see him with no real woman. So what's the real deal? I don't care if he do got kids from when he was young. Yeah, whatever, bitch. But you know what I'm saying? It's out of order, and Trump's out of order. He has no respect. He has no motherfucker idea about the Constitution. His lawyers don't have nothing to do with constitutional law, obviously, because they wouldn't be advising him in such a way that. Anyway, we'll see. We'll see what happens. You know, and I hope that they get Trump out of the office before there's no more North or South America continent over here with his stupidity.